Some of you have been firing in live questions all show long, so now let's go ahead and take those comments and questions.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
All right, you guys. Some of you have been firing in some comments and questions all show long, so let's go ahead and take some of those now. Hold on. I lost my place. Hold on a second, you guys. There we go. First comment comes from Irene Carroll, and Irene says, well, I wrote on my Facebook, DD, well, he was someone you knew if you were a kid. Oh, Dustin Diamond, sorry. Well, I wrote on my Facebook, Dustin Diamond, well, he was someone you knew if you were a kid from the 80s and 90s. And he was a ride or die friend. And growing up with that person in your life, it felt like he was my friend too, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dustin Diamond was, he was kind of a ride or die kind of guy, right? And I mean, I had that strong connection with him. I mean, that was my in to the whole Saved by the Bell crowd, to the show, really. I mean, when Screech wasn't around, I kind of felt like, I don't really connect. I wasn't a jock. I wasn't the popular kid. I wasn't a cheerleader. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. I was Screech. That's who I was. And yeah, I mean, he definitely came across as like that kind of person that always had your back. And, you know, that's something we talk about in improv all the time is I got your back. I got your back. I got your back. And I feel like that in a lot of ways was Dustin Diamond. He was the guy who got your back. He also was the guy that, I don't think life was incredibly kind to him. I mean, apparently not, based on the events of yesterday. But he seems like the kind of guy who took it on the chin. He took it with as much grace as he could provide at the time. And yeah, I agree with that. He was the kind of guy that was he was the ride or die kind of guy. Irene goes on to say, also, ugh, Frasier is Trumper. Gross. Therefore, just saying no thanks. Yes. I don't, this is not a show where we get involved in politics. But yes, Kelsey Grammer is a supporter of former President Donald Trump. I'm not going to get into political debates about this, that, or the other, but there is a part of your brain, like if you support, if you're a supporter of Donald Trump, or if you're not a supporter of Donald Trump, and I hate to put it in those terms because that's kind of where we are in the country right now, is that you either are or you aren't, and it sucks that there's such a stark division there, right? It just sucks. So if you are anti, let's take politics out of it for a second. Let's talk about ghosts. If you believe in ghosts, and I don't believe in ghosts, and I make very stark judgment calls about you for believing in ghosts, for the rest of my life, any project that you work on is going to be tainted by me saying, "Ugh, gross, you believe in ghosts. Ugh." Or, you know, Tom Cruise is a great example as well. A lot of people refuse to watch Tom Cruise movies, not because he's a bad actor, not because he doesn't make a great, fun action movie, but because of his religious affiliations. And I put religious in verbal air quotes, because of his religious affiliations, right? People look at the things that he believes and supports and sustains in his private life and make judgment calls and say, oh, well, I'm never going to watch another Tom Cruise movie again. Well, why not? I understand. I understand when it comes to more political debates, we are much more visceral, much more visceral. So I can't tell you not to watch Frasier. Frasier's my favorite television show of all time. It always has been. When I found out about Kelsey Grammer and his political affiliations, yeah, there was a part of my heart that kind of went, well, shoot. But the other side of the coin is, look at everybody else in the show. The Cosby Show was also kind of a great example of this, in that when Bill Cosby, when all the news broke of how awful and disgusting of a human being Bill Cosby really was, people stopped watching The Cosby Show. And I get it. I mean, I was one of them. I kind of didn't want to watch that show anymore. But look at all of the other people that are losing out. All of the other actors that were on the show, the directors, the showrunners, the producers, they're all losing their residuals from that show as well. And it was an Academy Award winning show. It was acclaimed so much. And now nobody will ever watch the show again, thanks to the disgusting exploits of Bill Cosby himself. And everybody else loses. Everybody else loses. Same thing with the Woody Allen movie. Everybody that has ever worked on a Woody Allen movie loses because of one disgusting human being. Kevin Spacey, same thing. American Beauty, an Academy Award-winning film. Same thing with LA Confidential or Pay It Forward. What a great movie Pay It Forward is. Is anybody going to watch it now because Kevin Spacey's in it? I don't know. And it sucks because there are great stories that are told in this way. And, I can't tell anybody how to watch television. I can't tell anybody how to watch the movies that they want to watch. Because at the same time, I don't want to be told how to watch my movies or television shows. But I do understand the struggle. When you see that somebody supports something that you are against, even vehemently so, it taints the project. I, for one, choose to overlook that. And here's the thing. Just because somebody has a different belief or viewpoint than I do doesn't mean that they're wrong and I'm right. It doesn't mean that I'm wrong and they're right. It just means that we're different. And if I only want one demographic of people to support me in what I do, comedically, or even with the show, I would feel hypocritical. I would feel hypocritical because I want everybody to benefit. A few weeks on the show, I was talking about how I use movies and television shows to kind of reach across the proverbial aisle and say, we may differ politically, but at least we have the Avengers. We have Ninja Turtles. We have Deadpool. We have Disney. We have Batman. We have Pickle Rick. We have Stranger Things. We have Wolverine. We have Star Wars. We have all of these things to connect us and grow those relationships. Not to say that we need to put political stuff aside or to put our beliefs or religious beliefs or whatever. Not to say that we need to forget about that. Definitely not. But I feel like this is how we build relationships with people. We talk about healing the nation all the time. All the time, especially now that that we have a brand new president. I mean, that's one of his platforms, is to heal the nation and bring people together. This is my method. This is how I'm comfortable doing this is, hey, you like Frasier? So do I. Let's be friends, right? You like Ninja Turtles? So do I. Let's be friends. Anyway, I could go on and on and on about that, but those are my thoughts. Irene Carroll goes on to say, and I don't mean to be political on your vlogging. Following up from that comment, and I don't mean to be political on your vlogging, but my friend just walked past him and he was unmasked. And I feel like you walk past an unmasked person right now, and they're trying hard to make a statement of uncaring. I agree. I know exactly what you're talking about. I have been very vocal on this show saying that in my other life, I work as a flight attendant on an airplane, and it sucks. It sucks that my job now has gone from providing safety and security and maybe a few comforts on a flight to policing the public and sometimes yelling at people to put their masks back on. I have had the authorities meet multiple aircrafts that I have worked, and it has been my judgment call because, nobody else wants to take responsibility for it. I will, because you're not wearing your mask. And yes, I will have the police meet the flight. And yes, you will be put on the no-fly list. Period. Because you are a flight risk. Because you're refusing to put your mask on. You're putting everyone's health in danger. Whether you have this thing or not, doesn't matter. So yeah, I understand the struggle. I understand the frustration. And it sucks when you see someone whose work that you love so much start to do things that are reckless, and disrespectful. I mean, yeah, everybody needs to make their own judgment call. I can't tell you how to feel about any particular thing. I don't know. I feel like we've kicked this dead horse enough. Speaking of dead horses, Irene says, riding a pony. Yeah. So again, like I said, I'm not a Thor aficionado. I don't know everything about the Thor comics. Yes, I'm more of a Marvel fan than I am a DC fan, and I'm fairly well versed. Maybe not as much as others, but I know a few good things about the Marvel comic history books. And Thor's magical mystical ponies. That is an area that I'm uneducated in, unskilled in. So yeah, if anybody knows anything more about that, I would be very interested to hear more about Thor and his magical ponies. Karen Alties writes, "Hello again, Mike." Well, hello, Karen. Karen, on yesterday's show, you had written a few comments that didn't make it into the live show. I guess there was like some kind of a technical glitch or a bug or something. But Karen, welcome back. Welcome back to the conversation. Irene Carroll, follows up by saying, "I stayed. You told me to, and so I did. Haha, I see. The power of suggestion works. The power of suggestion works." Irene, go to YouTube and follow subscribe to my channel on YouTube at Gotta Love Them Movies. Do it now. Do it now. Anyway, yeah, power of suggestion. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. Thanks so much for being part of the conversation, giving us things to talk about and postulate on. This is my favorite part. This is yes, this is kind of more news-y, networky, broadcasty kind of a show, but this is my favorite portion of the show, is when people reach out with comments and questions, and we get to have a conversation, get to have a dialogue. This is my favorite part of the show. Yes, I love talking about theories and what does the Black Panther television show really mean for the MCU? All that stuff is great. But this is my favorite part. Irene follows up again by saying, "I will subscribe. I don't know why, but I'm compelled." Ooh. Yeah, Irene, you are just the sweetest. Anytime that we have an opportunity to perform on stage, I love it. It just makes me so happy. Of course, all the theaters are shut down right now, so maybe Irene, maybe you should come on the show as a guest. Let's have you on as a guest. Let's talk after the show is over, and let's see if we can figure out a time to get you on this show so so that we can have this verbal back and forth conversation with each other. And now you sent a heart. Well, you're just the sweetest. You guys, thanks so much for watching Gotta Love Them Movies. I'm your host, Mr. Mike Brown. I'm here all the time. And if you guys, that's a pet peeve of mine, and I just crossed over into that territory. So whenever people make an if-then statement, if blah, 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 then blah, 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 blah. Flight attendants do this all the time. Next time you're on an airplane, which hopefully isn't anytime soon, but if you are, pay attention to this, because flight attendants do this all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will just put your seatbelts on, we greatly appreciate it. You gave an if-then statement, but no, you didn't offer then. If you put on your seatbelts, then what? And I guess in this particular statement, kind of the then was implied by saying then we would appreciate it, but they do that all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will pass your garbage to the center aisle. Thank you. What? Just keep an ear out for that. We do it all the time. It's awful. Irene says, why? Yes, please. Let's make it happen, Irene. You guys, hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Luke Skywalker would want you to do. Da-da-da-dun, dun, da-da-da-dun, dun.